Hi, this is Rajat Kumar Shukla from Perpetual Learning. Today we will discuss about the dual activities based some questions. These questions I have received by the mail and through some other social media platforms. So let's discuss. We have seen the dual activities equivalent model. We can say here is a switch 1, here is a switch 2. Similarly, this is kind of fashion switch 1 and switch 2. Uh, let's say this name is switch 1, this name is switch 2, this name is switch 3, and this name is switch 4. So here terminal goes for the isolation transformer, let's say here, and of course there is a one interface inductor. So and here this is a isolation transformer, and in this side there are another switches available. Okay, so we have a equivalent model for the dual activities concept. To transfer the power from this bridge to this bridge side, we have to apply for the, let's say this is the switch 1 gate signal in this mode. So we have to be applied for, let's say this switch name is q1. So we have to be some phase shifting to transfer the power from this bridge to the this bridge. Okay, so let's say this phase shifting is a phi. So at this portion, I mean, let's say here is a phi. Okay, for the q1 I will apply the phase shifting from here. So here is a phase shifting. Okay, to transfer the power from bridge 1 to the bridge 2. So from bridge 1, for the bridge 1 the switching signal is look into this manner, and this is a pi, and of course this is a 50% duty cycle. All switches are working on the 50% duty cycle, of course. So q1 is phase shifting by the phi. Okay, so this is for the power if transfer from bridge 1 to the bridge 2. Let's say if I want to transfer the power from bridge 2 to the bridge 1, then how to apply the gate pulse? Okay, this is the question basically. So if you want to transfer the power from this is, let's say this is in the forward mode, and this is this power in the reverse mode. So in the reverse mode operation, I mean, if I want to transfer power from bridge to the bridge 1, the gating pulses, because there is no negative, I mean, here the question mentioned, we put, can we put in negative angle? Before going to think in this way, just think the negative angle is exist in the simulation in the real world or not. So of course not. So but obviously in the mathematical analysis we apply the minus phi, so the power will change the direction. Suppose it is going to the forward direction, then it will, suppose it is going to the forward direction, then it will by applying the negative phase shifting, it will change the direction. But in the simulation, in the real world, how you will do this? Okay, how to apply the gate pulses? Negative angle, that means the negative time, so you can't do that. Okay, so what you will do, of course this is if you just recall the forward mode operation, then the switching pulses, this is the zero reference, right? So here apply the q1 first. Okay, so q1, it will move in this way, I mean this is the gate pulses. Okay, and after that you have to apply the s1. Okay, so here s1 here, I mean in this way, so the same phase shifting phi is here. Okay, so what you will do here for the reverse mode operation, firstly you trigger the q1, I mean this switch. After that you have to trigger the this switch one, I mean this switch one, bridge 1 switch 1 pulses. Okay, after the 5 phase shifting. So okay, so you can achieve the reverse mode operation by the firstly trigger the bridge 2 and then apply the bridge 1. Okay, there is no need. So in this way you can achieve the reverse mode. So basically what you are doing here, basically here the term is if you take this the zero reference, okay, zero reference signal, zero time signal, zero axis you can say. So from this zero, this portion is a negative and this portion is a positive. Okay, okay, because if you take this in this portion, I mean switch 1, this value where switch 1 is triggering, let's say this is a time t naught. So the in this time t naught, here if you see in the forward mode operation, the time t naught, this is the reference. Okay, so the reference point is here in the bridge 1, switch 1, where you are just triggering on the switch 1, and similarly in the reverse mode, switch 1 where it is triggering on. From that, if you are applying, I mean if you are taking this reference point of the zero axis, then just before you are just turning on the q1 before the 5 phase shifting, and here in the forward mode operation after the 5 phase shifting, you are turning on the q1. Got it? So the point is firstly you have to be turn on the b2 switches, then I mean b2 devices switches, then you have to turn on the b1 switches, then you can achieve the reverse mode operation. Okay, so this is our next question. I am working on wireless power transfer on EV battery charging. This DAB is helped in that, or what changes required? Okay, so basically, okay, so basically in wireless power transformer, wireless power transfer in EV application, this is not so popular. But yes, in recent trends, there are wideband gap devices is available like gallium nitride devices, silicon carbide devices. So because of that devices, they can operate at the higher frequency level. Okay, so because of that higher frequency level, yes, this is true. In recent trends, this is going to be popular. Wireless power transfer. There are so many topologies available. Of course, you know, I guess. So if you are taking the dual active bridge converter topology, so what changes is required? There are no changes required, because basically if you see the basic operation of the wireless power transfer, there are a kind of transmitter. This is nothing but this is the inductive coupling. This is, if you see, this is the a rectifier term. Basically this is the diode based, not thyristor based. This is a power supply 3-phase, and the model is a rectifier diode. This one, this is the isolation, this is the inductive coupling. This is called inductive coupling. Okay, after that, this model you can use your DAB model. Sorry, because this is the DC to and inductive coupling kind of thing, so you can use your model, DAB model, suppose. Sorry for trying. So this is a DAB model and you can achieve your DC. Okay, so this is a basically use. So no changes is required in the dual active bridge concept. Only the changes is here how you will transfer the power. So definitely this may be called transmitter, this matter transmitter, and this area is called the receiver, and this should be proper coupling. If it is not proper coupling here, because this is basically coupling, what power is transferring here to here. So you can say if transmitter and receiver not properly adjust, then the efficiency deteriorate considerably. Like power transfer through the wired is 99% if it is efficiency of the dual active bridge converter. If the it is not proper coupling, then the all over converter efficiency will deteriorate till the 50%. If only there are no proper coupling. Okay, sorry for this mistake. So obviously, Okay, so you have to be careful about the transmitter and receiver side. Okay, dual active for the dual active in the dual active bridge topology, there are no changes is required. This is our next question, power derivation. So many students are confused for the power derivation, how we will do it. Okay, so firstly you have to be recall the firstly you have to be mad the inductor current waveform. If you remember that inductor current waveform is going in this manner, okay, where this is the primary voltage, output of the bridge 1 voltage, and this is the pi. Okay, this is the secondary voltage. Okay, this is the secondary voltage what is going on. Okay, so here this is the inductor current waveform, this is the and this one VCD, let's say, and this one is a VAB. So this red line is a inductor current waveform. So here yeah, so firstly you have to calculate the I of 0 value, then I of phi value, because this is the phase shifting phi, and then this is the condition of I of pi, and you have to be apply the condition of I of pi is equal to minus I of 0 because of the symmetric condition. So you can easily get the initial values I of 0 and I of phi, which is showing here. I have calculated. Okay, so after that you have to be put this value I of 0 to this one and I of phi in this one. Now what you will do, you have I of theta in a properly from 0 to phi. Okay, let's see here, this one I of theta, and let's say this one is a I1 function of theta. Now you have a I of theta from the range of phi to the pi. Now I'm talking about this one, this line. So you have, let's say this is called the I2 of theta. Okay, now you need a power calculation, right? So power is equal to V input into I input. Okay, so V input is similarly we will write for the I input, what we will do, 1 upon pi 0 to pi I of theta into d theta. Okay, so this is the V input, 1 upon pi 0 to phi, and which equation is valid from 0 to phi, I1 of theta, right? So I1 of theta into d theta plus phi to pi I2 of theta into d theta. Okay, we can distribute it from 0 to pi, 0 to phi, because another different equation is valid. Okay, so now we have to be put this I1 of theta here and this I2 of theta here, and we can after integrating them, after the cancellation some terms, we can get the power equation in the format of V input square upon omega L into d phi into 1 minus phi by pi. Here D is a voltage conversion ratio. Please remember, this is the voltage conversion ratio, which is N into V2 by V1. N is a turns ratio. N is a turns ratio. Okay, where the secondary voltage will be referred by the, suppose this is a transformer, so this is a V2. Sorry for drawing. So if V2 is referred to the secondary primary side, then suppose turns ratio is a N, so this is the N times of V2. This is the primary voltage. Okay, so similarly D is looking in this manner. Sorry, I can't derive it here, because it will take so much time. You should try, because this will be good for you, and this is just a mathematical mathematical manipulation here. Okay, and the equation is the equation you have. I have given the equation. This is the I1 of theta, this is the I2 of theta, the initial condition you have, and you should try to get this value, and just plug in these values to this main equation, and you can get such kind of equation. So in this manner. Okay. Okay, so the next question: how can we estimate power range and switching frequency in such 24 volt, 48 volt voltages? Okay, so basically you have to be firstly choose the application. What is the application? So if you are where you want to use, suppose you want to use this in electric vehicle side, so obviously there are different level charges is available, and 48 volt based charges available. So suppose in the PV application you are going on. So in the PV application, suppose there is a PV, okay, and what is a PV output? Usually 24 volt and 48 volt is there also in the market. After that, after the converter, suppose here is a EV, so therefore there is a 48 volt, of course. In this application you can use. So in this lower voltage range, firstly you have to decide what modulation technique you want to use, because there are so many modulation technique. So if I derive it, because based on your question, it seemed to be like how to choose a frequency. So at the frequency based, if the modulation technique, I can classify the modulation technique in two way. First, fixed frequency, and then another variable frequency based modulation technique. Okay, this is the modulation techniques, remember. Okay, so fixed frequency based and the variable frequency based. So if you are using the fixed frequency based modulation technique, then you have to be select. This is depends on you, there is no restriction. Okay, or maybe I don't know, but I mean I have a knowledge about the frequency based converter. You have this is depends on you. No, I mean there are no restriction, I know that. So yeah, so usually this is preferable high frequency. If you are able to use, so it will be more good. Okay, because it will decrease the magnetic component sizes. Okay, so usually you can choose 100 kilohertz and 500 kilohertz. If you are able to avoid the EMIs issues. Okay, now what about the power range? Okay, so power range, basically see in the market the EVs, what EVs available. If you are talking about the normal EVs, okay, so there are 7.2 kilowatt chargers is given by the by the companies. Okay, 7.2 kilowatt chargers. Okay, so this is depends on you, but it will be more good if you are able to increase the power range. Okay, so this is also again the based on the application purpose. What application you are using for the EV application, then what level of charger you want to use. Okay, remember I am using one terminology, level of chargers. So what level 1, level 2 chargers, what level chargers you want to use. High frequency, sorry, high, and again charger is depends on the two way. The first one is a slow charger. This come into the range of 10 kilowatt, and if you are using the fast charger, it is greater than 10 kilowatt, 15 kilowatt, 30 kilowatt, maybe 100 kilowatt also. Okay, if power is high, then the charging speed is high, remember. Okay, so here this is one of the, I mean this is one of just one of the analogy. So now power range and frequency range you have to be decide. This is depends on you. If you are using the variable frequency range, variable frequency based modulation technique, then this is I mean because you have to be vary the frequency based on the losses. You what term you have to optimize. That means if you want to decrease the losses, maybe if you want to decrease the reactive power, maybe. Okay, so this is depends on you. There are multiple I mean there are multiple answers involved. Okay, so how, this is our next question: how can we ensure the ZVS operation in DAB using inductor current? Okay, so this blue line, this brown line is a IL of what the current is flowing through the inductor. This side is a bridge one. Okay, and this terminal is called the AB terminal, VAB, and this terminal is called the VCD. Let's say if a transformer has a higher magnetizing inductance and no leakage inductance is there, and no leakage resistance, I mean no winding resistance is there, so that will be in ideal case. So this is in B2, okay, bridge 2. So this is the input voltage, this is the output voltage. Okay, so the VAB, the what is the voltage across the AB terminal is shown here. This is a pi, and this is a VCD, and let's say after the 5, bridge 2 is fired, and this voltage C to D we will get. And I mean through the inductor current, the question mentioned the inductor current, right? So this is the inductor current. So here this is the ZVS operation. How? If IL of 0, because this is the reference point of t is equal to 0. If IL of 0 is less than or equal to 0, in this condition, when the VAB is transition from negative to the positive side, okay, then you will get the bridge 1 boundary, bridge 1 ZVS condition, ZVS boundary condition. Now if IL of this is a 5, at 5 IL of 5 greater than equal to 0, then then VCD is changing, sorry for this drawing, this is the VCD, from negative to the positive, and then you will get bridge to ZVS operation. Okay, remember. But the question is why it is so. So as we know, the equivalent model from the dielectric bridge converter, the first leg, I mean bridge 1 first leg, if I'm talking about, there is a devices switch 1 and switch 2, and this is a D1, this is D2. Okay, so the inductor current is, suppose is going here. Okay, so in the transition at t is equal to 0, what will happen? I mean the switches will move, I mean the firing switches will move from switch to the switch 1. So basically I want to suppose if I am just making that diagram here, suppose here I have just switch 2 close, and after some dead time switch 1 is open. Okay, this is switch 2 and this is switch 1. So in this period, I mean in this dead time, the current basically is negative. If it is negative, that means the current is flow from in this direction. Let's say this is the IL dash. In this period, in this dead time, the inductor current mainly flow to the negative direction. Okay, so in this direction there is some capacitor, device capacitance is there, and as we know the MOSFET has a body diode. Okay, so here if you have the capacitance, let's say this is CDS1 and this is called the CDS2. Okay, so the current will be moved whenever the switch 2 is opened here, and here also switch 2 already opened, then in this dead time the current is flowing in this way before t equal to 0. I mean this is a t equal to 0, before this t, that means here in this region. So the current is flowing in this direction from drain to the source. Sorry for this drawing. So drain to the source. Okay, so now this is open, this is open, where the current will move? So current obviously will move through in this fashion, this diode D1. Okay, now current will flowing through the this D1, because there is only one possibility is here D1. So it will be sorted look like as a sorted, right? Obviously there is a 0.7 volt, but this is very small, right? This is very small, so this will be look as a sorted. So 0 voltage is there. Okay, after that switch 1 is closed and the current flowing through that will take place in this way, I mean in the negative way. After some time, that means this inductor current is here in this z time here, and after some time, that means some zero value, inductor current reach the positive value and drain to source current will move again in the next direction. Let me change the color. Okay, so inductor current will move in the drain to source direction here in this fashion, I mean. Okay, so basically this is a very small transition, so inductor current is look as a constant value. And yeah, so my point is before t equal to 0, switch 2 is conducting, this one is conducting. After that switch 2 period, I mean this period, let's say this is the region 1. In this region 1, channel is blocked because channel is opened. Now the current is moving in this direction. Now the current is here, but where it will move? So in obviously D1 will take place, and it will allow the current from this way to this way. And diode, because of D1 is turned on, so 0 voltage is applying across the switches. So what will happen? 0 voltage is there, and before turning on the switch 1, actually the 0 voltage is there across the switches. So what is this 0 voltage switching? That means turning on case for the switch 1. Now again, this is the this condition will be same for the bridge 2. If you just observe them, if you just see the how it is changing, so similar case will happen. Let me change the color. So similarly for the bridge 2, what will happen? There is a positive current, right? So positive current is going, let's say this is a secondary, this is a transformer, and this is a secondary side, and this is our Q1, bridge to switch 1, or I can say Q1, this is a Q2. Okay, so here again is a diode, here again is a diode, and I said for turning on the, ZVS turning on the bridge 2, I have to use the positive inductor current, right? So that positive inductor current will be reflected in this side, in the secondary side, and then how it will be work, this is again question. So this is like as an assignment, you have to be firstly, try to solve how ZVS operation will happen, how ZVS operation for the other things. So by the way, this is the basic how to, ZVS operation is happening. So yeah, again, if you have any query or any suggestion for us, so you can contact my mail. The mail ID I have shown in the first slide. Otherwise, you can join us through the YouTube. You can like this, and yeah, ID. You can just put this plug in this website to the Google, and just you can join us through the Telegram. Okay, thank you.